While your neighbors will be fighting over the last loaf of bread when disaster strikes, you'll be calmly feeding your family from your own stockpile. The difference? A $50 shopping trip to Walmart that you can make this weekend. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 7 specific foods, shockingly affordable and sitting on Walmart shelves right now, that can sustain your family for weeks, months, or even years during any crisis. These aren't random items. Each one is chosen for maximum shelf life, complete nutrition, and real-world survival value. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to buy, how to store it, and why these 7 foods could be the difference between panic and peace of mind when the next disaster hits. Welcome to Pantry Lab, where we turn food anxiety into food security. If you're serious about protecting your family's future, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our practical preparedness strategies. Now, let's dive into the 7 survival foods that belong in every home. Let's start with the foundation of any survival stockpile: white rice. When panic buying swept America in 2020, rice flew off the shelves before toilet paper, and there's a very good reason for that. White rice isn't just cheap, it's the foundation of almost every survival meal you'll ever make. Here's what makes white rice extraordinary. Stored in oxygen-free containers, it keeps for up to 30 years. Yes, you heard that right, 30 years. Your kids could literally inherit your stash and still enjoy it decades later. That's not an exaggeration. That's documented shelf life when stored properly. Now, you might be thinking, what about brown rice? Isn't that healthier? Sure, brown rice has more nutrients, but here's the problem. Brown rice contains oils that turn rancid quickly. Within months, your brown rice stockpile becomes worthless. When survival is the priority, longevity and calories matter more than nutritional purity. White rice wins every single time. At Walmart, a 10-pound bag costs around $14.71. That translates to mere pennies per serving, and enough to feed a family for weeks. 1 cup of uncooked rice packs about 630 calories, the fuel needed for the manual labor that survival often demands. It's not just affordable, rice is incredibly versatile. Add beans or vegetables and you've instantly doubled your meal's nutrition and heft. But here's the real magic. When you combine rice with beans, you create a complete protein. Your body gets all the essential amino acids it needs, the same as if you were eating a steak. Rice stretches meals, provides steady energy, and keeps both your body and mind sharp during stressful situations. Now let's talk about the second item on your list, instant oatmeal. This is one of the most overlooked survival foods, and I'll never understand why. Repacked with oxygen absorbers, instant oatmeal can last 25 years or more. During recent power outages, families with oatmeal were able to enjoy hot, filling breakfasts using only hot water. No electricity, no fancy equipment required. Each packet contains about 150 calories, with plenty of complex carbohydrates for sustained energy. And here's what really matters during a crisis: variety. Oatmeal comes in multiple flavors: maple brown sugar, apples and cinnamon, peaches and cream. When you're facing week 3 of an emergency situation, that flavor variety isn't just nice to have, it's a morale booster that keeps your family's spirits up. Plus, you don't even need to eat it hot. Overnight oats, where you mix the oatmeal with cold water and let it soak, offer no-cook convenience when fuel or heat isn't available. And oatmeal isn't just for breakfast. Mix it with canned fruit for dessert, use it to thicken soups, or add nuts for more complete nutrition. The versatility is incredible for such a simple, affordable food. But none of this matters if you don't store these foods properly. Let me be very clear about this. Improper storage can destroy your entire stockpile. The enemies of shelf life are heat, humidity, light, and pests. Your garage in the summer can destroy food in months that should last decades. A cool, dark closet or basement can extend shelf life for years beyond the printed date. Here's where not to store your survival foods: garages, attics, or storage sheds. These spaces get too hot and too humid. The temperature swings alone will cut your shelf life in half or worse. Instead, choose cool, dry, dark places. Basements are ideal. Interior closets work great. Even under your bed is better than a hot garage. Use a Sharpie to mark the purchase date on every item, then consume the oldest items first. This is called rotation, and it's essential. Use airtight containers for rice to keep pests out, and keep everything off the floor. Here's my rule: if you wouldn't store your phone there overnight, don't keep your survival food there. For rice specifically, oxygen-free containers are the key to that 30-year shelf life. You can buy food-grade buckets and oxygen absorbers online for just a few dollars. Seal your rice properly, store it in a cool, dark place, and you're set for decades. Now let's move on to protein, the backbone of survival nutrition. First up, canned beans. When Hurricane Harvey left Maria in Texas stranded for 12 days, canned beans were her family's lifeline. And here's the thing, sealed properly, beans can last 25 years or more. That's longer than most mortgages and certainly longer than most emergencies. What makes beans truly remarkable is their synergy with rice. I mentioned this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Combined, rice and beans provide all essential amino acids, forming a complete protein. From a survival perspective, your body treats the protein from beans and rice the exact same as a steak. You get all the building blocks to stay strong. At Walmart, canned beans cost less than $1 per can, currently between 86 and 92 cents. You can rinse them to reduce sodium, eat them cold straight from the can, or pair them with rice, eggs, or vegetables to stretch one can into several meals. Each can averages out to about 30 cents per meal. That's unbeatable value for survival. And here's something most people don't think about. Beans have trade value. During crises, they're recognized as currency. Food becomes more than sustenance, it becomes bargaining power. My advice? Buy 5 cans at a time during your regular shopping trips. This keeps you under the radar, avoids drawing attention, and gradually builds your security without anyone noticing. The best part about canned beans? They're ready to eat. No cooking required if you're in a pinch. Pop open the can, drain and rinse if you want, and you've got instant protein. No power needed, no fuel wasted, just pure survival nutrition. Next protein source, canned tuna. At around 96 cents per can, it punches far above its weight in survival nutrition. Each can provides 20 grams of protein. That's equivalent to a restaurant chicken breast, but with far superior shelf life and a fraction of the cost. Canned tuna is fully cooked and ready to eat. You need no power, no gas, and no special equipment. You can eat it straight from the can or mix it with rice, beans, pasta, or mayonnaise for endless variations. While fresh meat spoils in hours without refrigeration, canned tuna stays good for years, making it the ultimate protein safety net. Here's the math that matters. 96 cents buys you a meal-level portion of high-quality protein. When the grid fails, when stores are empty, when fresh meat is rotting without refrigeration, your canned tuna sits safely in your pantry, ready to go. The shelf life alone makes it essential. You can buy multi-packs for even better value, and it takes minimal storage space. The versatility is incredible. Tuna melts if you have bread and cheese, tuna salad if you have mayo and vegetables, mix it with pasta for a complete meal, combine it with rice and soy sauce for an Asian-inspired dish, add it to beans for extra protein. The possibilities are limited only by what else you have on hand. Now, the protein that really proved its worth during recent crises, canned chicken. When the 2021 Texas freeze knocked out power across the state, canned chicken became more valuable than gold for families like Sarah's. At around $2.62 a can, it delivers enough protein for 2 adults in one meal, far cheaper and more practical than fresh meat. Canned chicken is fully cooked and ready to eat. You can warm it briefly if you have the ability, or eat it straight from the can. Add it to rice, pasta, tortillas, or vegetables to create complete balanced meals. When fresh meat is gone within hours during power cuts, canned chicken remains accessible for months, completely immune to spoilage. Think about what happens during a real emergency. Your freezer meat thaws and spoils within 24 to 48 hours without power. Your refrigerated chicken goes bad even faster. But canned chicken, it sits safely on your shelf, maintaining full nutritional value, ready whenever you need it. Here's how to use it. Rotate your stock by dating each can with a Sharpie. Use the oldest first and replace as you go. Pair canned chicken with rice and vegetables for a complete meal. Add it to beans for extra protein, mix it with pasta and canned vegetables, use it in tortillas for quick tacos. The protein is critical during high-stress survival situations, and canned chicken delivers it reliably. Storage is simple. Keep your canned proteins at cool, stable temperatures. Avoid extreme heat or freezing. A basement or interior closet is perfect. Check the cans occasionally for dents, rust, or swelling. Those are signs to discard. But properly stored, your canned beans, tuna, and chicken will outlast most emergencies you'll ever face. Now we move beyond basic calories and protein to the items I call force multipliers. These foods do more than just feed you. They preserve other foods, provide medicine, boost morale, and serve as valuable trade goods. First among these is honey. Honey's shelf life is legendary. Scientists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible. Let that sink in. 3,000 years. Pure honey never spoils, thanks to its low moisture content and natural acidity. Nothing else on this list or in your entire pantry can make that claim. In survival situations, honey is incredibly multifunctional. First, it provides instant energy. When you're weak, malnourished, or exhausted from physical labor, a spoonful of honey delivers fast-acting glucose that your body can use immediately. Second, it's medicinal. Honey's antibacterial properties make it excellent for treating wounds and soothing sore throats. People have used honey for wound care for thousands of years, and it still works today. Third, and this is important, honey is an exceptional barter item. Sweetness is craved during crises. When people are eating bland rice and beans day after day, something sweet becomes incredibly valuable. A jar of honey could trade for items worth far more than what you paid at Walmart. When buying honey, aim for pure, local honey if it's available. Avoid the corn syrup blends disguised as honey. They don't have the same shelf life or medicinal properties. Yes, real honey costs more up front than some of the other items on this list, but its durability and multi-use capability make it worth every penny. Store honey in airtight containers in a cool, dry place. If it crystallizes, and it probably will over time, that's completely normal. Just warm it gently and it returns to liquid. Use honey as both medicine and morale booster. Sweetness in a crisis isn't a luxury. It's a psychological lifeline that keeps spirits high when
The next force multiplier is salt. Salt's historical importance is profound. Roman soldiers were literally paid in salt. The word salary comes from this practice, and there's a good reason for that. Salt is critical for both preserving food and maintaining health, especially during physical labor. In emergencies, salt allows you to preserve meat when refrigeration fails, catch fresh fish or hunt game. Without salt, it spoils within hours. With salt, you can cure it and make it last for weeks or months. This preservation ability has kept humans alive through harsh winters and long journeys throughout history. Salt also prevents deficiency during strenuous activity. When you're working hard, sweating, dealing with stress, your body loses salt. Without replacement, you face cramps, weakness, and worse. A simple pinch of salt in your water keeps your electrolytes balanced and your body functioning. And here's the best part. Salt never spoils. Never. You could bury a container for 2 decades, dig it up, and it's still perfectly good. Salt is also shockingly cheap, under $1 per container at Walmart. This makes it one of the most cost-effective survival items you can possibly buy. My recommendation, buy at least 3 containers of salt. Keep them in different locations for redundancy. One in the kitchen for daily use, one in your main stockpile, and one in a backup location. If disaster strikes and you're forced to leave your home, having salt in multiple places ensures you'll have access to this critical resource. Now let's talk about how all this comes together. You've got your carbohydrates, rice and oatmeal. You've got your proteins, beans, tuna, and chicken. You've got your force multipliers, honey and salt. But acquiring these items is only half the battle. You need a smart strategy for building your stockpile without drawing attention or breaking your budget. Here's the approach that works. Start small. Don't try to buy everything at once. That's suspicious during normal times and impossible during shortages. Instead, on your next shopping trip, buy a bag of rice and a few cans of beans. The following week, add tuna and oatmeal. The week after that, pick up chicken and honey. Gradually build your supply over multiple trips. This gradual approach has several advantages. First, it's budget-friendly. Spreading purchases over time means you're not dropping $100 or $200 at once. Second, it's discreet. Nobody notices someone buying 1 or 2 extra items per trip. Third, it gives you time to learn proper storage and rotation techniques without feeling overwhelmed. Balance your nutrition as you build. Don't just buy 50 pounds of rice and nothing else. Aim for a mix: carbohydrates from rice and oatmeal, proteins from beans, tuna, and chicken, and those critical extras like honey and salt. A balanced stockpile means balanced nutrition when you need it most. And here's the key. Stay consistent. 1 item per trip adds up faster than you think. In 3 months of weekly shopping, you could have a solid 2-week emergency supply without anyone noticing. In 6 months, you could have a month's worth of food. In a year, you could have 3 months of security sitting quietly in your pantry.
Your future self will thank you when everyone else is scrambling and you're calmly eating from your own supply. This isn't paranoia, it's prudence. It's the same logic as having car insurance or a fire extinguisher. You hope you never need it, but you're incredibly glad it's there when disaster strikes. Let me paint you a picture of what having this stockpile actually means when disaster strikes. Imagine a major storm has knocked out power for 2 weeks. Stores are emptied within hours. Your neighbors are desperate, trading favors just for basic food. Gas stations are mobbed or closed. Supply trucks can't get through. This isn't hypothetical. We've seen it happen repeatedly in recent years. But you have your stockpile. You wake up and instead of panic, you calmly assess what you have. For breakfast, you make instant oatmeal with just hot water heated over a camping stove, or even cold if necessary. Your kids get a warm, filling meal while other families are rationing stale crackers. For lunch, you open a can of tuna, mix it with rice you cooked earlier, and add a touch of salt for flavor. It's not restaurant quality, but it's nutritious, filling, and tastes good. Your family stays strong while others weaken from inadequate nutrition. Dinner is where it all comes together. Rice and beans for your complete protein base, canned chicken for extra protein and variety, and vegetables if you have them. Season everything with salt, and you've got a meal that would cost $30 at a restaurant, prepared from items that cost you maybe $3 total. Someone in your family gets a cut? Clean it and apply honey as an antibacterial treatment. Sore throat from stress? Honey soothes it naturally. Need to preserve fresh food someone offers to trade? Salt makes it last weeks instead of hours. The difference isn't just about having food, it's about maintaining normalcy, dignity, and health when everything around you is chaos. You're not fighting over scraps. You're not desperately trading valuable items for a single meal. You're not wondering where your next meal comes from. You're empowered, secure, and able to help others if you choose. That's the real value of these 7 foods. They provide not just calories, but confidence. Not just nutrition, but peace of mind. Not just survival, but the ability to thrive when others are merely struggling to get by. Let's address something important: food as currency and trade goods. During true emergencies, money often becomes worthless. Can't get to the bank, ATMs are down, credit cards don't work without power. Suddenly, cash itself has limited value. But food always has value. Each item on this list doubles as potential.
Someone needs protein and you have extra canned chicken? That's worth far more than the $2.62 you paid. A neighbor needs to preserve meat and you have extra salt. You can trade for something you need. Honey becomes incredibly valuable as a sweetener and medicine when nothing else is available. But here's my strong advice. Keep your stockpile discreet. Don't advertise what you have. Don't tell neighbors you're prepared unless you trust them completely. Desperate people do desperate things, and you don't want to become a target. Build your supply quietly, store it securely, and only reveal it to those you trust when necessary. The barter economy that emerges during crises rewards those who prepared, but it also creates risks for those who advertise too much. Be smart, be generous if you can afford to be, but protect your family first. Your stockpile isn't just food, it's your family's security and future. Beyond barter, these foods provide hope and morale. There's something psychologically powerful about knowing you're prepared. That confidence reduces stress, helps you think clearly, and allows you to make better decisions. Meanwhile, unprepared people panic, make poor choices, and put themselves at greater risk. Whether you're facing a weeks-long blackout, a supply chain breakdown, or economic collapse, a well-planned stockpile buys you more than food. It buys time to think, to plan, to adapt. It buys strength, physical energy from calories and protein. It buys options, the ability to stay put safely instead of desperately venturing into dangerous situations for supplies. The time to prepare is now, before shortages force you into desperate choices. Little by little, you can build resilience that lasts for decades by choosing foods that endure and empower. This isn't about hoarding or paranoia, it's about responsibility and common sense. Think about recent history. The 2020 pandemic emptied shelves in days. Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast. The 2021 Texas freeze caught millions unprepared. The supply chain disruptions of recent years showed how fragile our system really is. These aren't ancient history, these are recent events that affected millions of Americans. And here's the reality: the next crisis is always around the corner. Maybe it's another pandemic. Maybe it's a natural disaster. Maybe it's an economic shock or infrastructure failure. Maybe it's something we can't even predict right now, but it's coming. History guarantees that.
Grocery stores operate on just-in-time delivery systems. They keep minimal inventory and rely on constant restocking. When trucks stop running, stores empty in hours, not days, hours, and restocking could be impossible for weeks. This isn't speculation. This is how modern supply chains work, and we've seen them fail repeatedly. But here's the good news. For under $50, you can lay the groundwork for lasting security. A 10-pound bag of rice, a case of beans, a dozen cans of tuna, some canned chicken, a jar of honey, salt, and oatmeal. That's your foundation. Build from there over the following weeks and months, and you'll have security that grows stronger with time. Take action this weekend, not next month, not when disaster is already here, this weekend. Visit Walmart or whatever store is convenient. Start with just one item if that's all your budget allows. Buy a bag of rice, buy some canned beans, buy honey, just start. Each item you add is one step closer to complete security. Each shopping trip builds your resilience. Each week that passes with a growing stockpile is a week where you're more prepared than 90% of people around you. That's not arrogance, that's simple reality. Most people won't prepare until it's too late. Don't be most people. Be the person who acts before the crisis, not during it. Be the person who protects their family with forethought instead of scrambling in panic. Be the person who can help others because they took care of themselves first. These 7 foods, white rice, instant oatmeal, canned beans, canned tuna, canned chicken, honey, and salt, aren't just groceries, they're decades of security, complete nutrition, and peace of mind for under $50. While others panic, you'll have the confidence to weather any storm, the strength to stay healthy, and the wisdom to thrive where others merely survive. This isn't complicated. This isn't expensive. This isn't paranoid. This is practical preparedness that anyone can achieve with simple steps repeated consistently over time. The barrier isn't money or knowledge, it's action, and action is entirely within your control. Don't wait until shelves are empty. Don't wait until disaster is bearing down on your community. Don't wait until panic buying makes these items unavailable or 10 times more expensive. Visit Walmart this weekend. Start with just one item. Build your stockpile step by step. Your future self will absolutely thank you. If this video gave you a clear action plan, smash that like button. Subscribe to Pantry Lab for more practical preparedness strategies that turn anxiety into empowerment. And drop a comment telling us which of these 7 foods are you buying first. Are you starting with rice or jumping straight to protein? Let us know your strategy. Remember, when the next crisis comes, and it will come, you'll have more than just food. You'll have confidence. You'll have the ability to help others. You'll have dignity and security while chaos swirls around you. The choice is yours. Will you be fighting over the last loaf of bread, or calmly opening a can in your own home, feeding your family while others panic? Preparation is your power. Start building it today. We'll see you in the next video. Stay prepared, stay empowered, and take control of your